Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you guys have been following along, we have done a lot of heel hook study, right? And I received some comments saying like, hey, there are other leg attacks out there. There's knee bars, there's toe holds. How about we show them some love? So in this video, we're going to do that. We're going to talk about what to do when heel hooks are illegal. So first, we're going to talk about how we can use the leg entanglements we've been studying to sweep and come up in a very dominant passing position. Then we're going to talk about some knee bars that can be done from the same entries and the same positions that we typically do heel hooks from. Lastly, we're going to talk about how we can do heel hooks without the referee knowing. I was hesitant to share this one because leg lockers have a bad reputation already. And if we abuse this one, then it's just going to get even worse, right? And we're going to make things more difficult for ourselves. So I decided to include it at the end of the video as a bonus, but please proceed with caution with this one.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
So first, we're going to talk about how to come up on a sweep right into a pass. So Gordon's in inside sankaku here, and he's going to high step. And we talked about previously how when we're in inside sankaku, we have a few different options on how we want to place our feet. So if our goal is to heist, we're going to want to go with this option here where we tuck our foot underneath. We're not triangling our legs. That allows an easy high step to go into a pass. So once Gordon has heisted up, he likes to go for the underhook here. But more importantly, he likes to go for this straight hamstring where his leg has the inside position on this straight hamstring. Straight hamstring. Cross hamstring would be over here. Straight hamstring is what Gordon prefers, I think, at least initially. So once we have that straight hamstring position, we can do a hip switch to pass. We can do a knee cut. We'll see Gordon do it here. But if you do this option, make sure you have the underhook over here on the far side. And then you can also do the famous foot pummel. You pummel your foot on top of theirs and use that to pass. And a lot of these kind of play off one another, right? So if one fails, then it kind of leads into the other one. So just kind of play with them, bounce them off one another, and just kind of keep working at it till you pick the lock. So now let's talk about some knee bars that we can do. And we'll see here Craig is working from inside sankaku. And heel hooks are illegal in this format. And Craig goes hard for this knee bar here. You can see the knee's not entirely aligned. He ends up going belly down, not having much success. And then he goes for this toe hold here. Again, not the strongest toe hold, but he uses the toe hold to come up into a very strong knee bar. Like you can see the knee is perfectly aligned. He's bridging hard. He's got a pretty solid grip here. But again, his opponent does not tap. Belly down, still nothing. So now we end up with a lat knee bar, right? The leg behind the lat. And like we talked about in the last video, our breaking potential is a combination of our upper body control and our lower body control. And in this scenario right here, Craig has very dominant upper body control right now with his arms. And he's going to use this time to tighten his lower body control. See him cinching up the triangle here. And that allows him to get a very strong knee bar finish. And if you're a guy that likes to live life on the edge, you can do a double lat knee bar finish. But again, like Craig in the first video we saw, Craig went hard for a knee bar that looked pretty deep. He had a nice toe hold, but his opponent didn't tap. And you'll see in this situation, his opponent ends up getting out of inside sankaku when Craig goes for the knee bar. And in all honesty, this guy probably shouldn't be able to hang with Craig Jones, right? But in a format where heel hooks are illegal, it makes it much more difficult for Craig to get a submission. So one entry that we talked about that Lachlan used to get a lot of heel hook submissions in ADCC was his K-guard entry into the inside heel hook. And when he does this entry, you'll see this foot right here is currently on the bottom shoulder. and Lachlan is going to bring it to his top shoulder. And that switch from the bottom shoulder to the top shoulder allows him to switch to the inside heel hook. Now you'll see this same entry, this same K-guard entry, right? Classic K-guard, knee on the inside, foot's coming around. But in this situation, you'll see this foot stays on this bottom shoulder here. If you were to bring it to the top, that would be going for the knee bar, or for the inside heel hook, right? But since he leaves it on the bottom shoulder, he's going for a knee bar. And he gets the tap. Just one thing to keep in mind when you're doing this finish here, if you leave this foot just kind of dangling out, people can knee bar. Like we talked about before, Craig Jones likes to take this foot and he likes to put it as a butterfly hook underneath his opponent's thigh over here. And that allows him to keep this foot safe while at the same time being able to off balance his opponent. But if you just kind of leave it dangling out here, you can get knee barred yourself. So just be careful. Another solid entry into the knee bar is off of turtle, right, where you roll underneath and you enter into the knee bar. And again, the best people in the world do this entry as well. But a lot of times, instead of going for a knee bar, they're looking for an inside heel hook. And I think that's a common theme amongst the best people in the world. I think there's a reason behind it, right? I think if I were a betting man, I would, which I'm not, but if I were, I would bet on an inside heel hook finish over a knee bar finish, right? It's a much higher percentage, and that's why you see the best people in the world going for it. So now, we know heel hooks are very efficient submissions, but in these formats, they kind of limit us, right? They don't allow us to do heel hooks. So we got to find ways to kind of make it happen. And again, do not abuse this one. Cannot stress that enough. We have a reputation to uphold. So proceed with caution, but here you go. You'll see here, this is a classic half, and we use that to sweep them over. And if we're able to get our hips high enough, right, if our hips come all the way up and get an alignment with their knee, you can finish with a knee bar. But you'll see the knee is still pretty bent and his hips never really get in alignment, but his opponent still taps. Why did they tap? If we watch this in slow motion, you'll see he's doing the sweep. Very nice sweep. Can't quite get his hips aligned, can't quite get his hips aligned. Boom. Steps on the foot here. So now pretty much he's doing an inside heel hook. He's pinning this foot down. He's bridging into the side of the knee, which is exactly what an inside heel hook is. And then his opponent taps right away. Again, be careful with that one. And if you guys like the video, please subscribe, please share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.